Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir sponsor Luinish Basam Yakashom Labasitzchok. We're holding in Basra Daf Kuf Memhei. We're starting in Amud Aleph, 4 lines in the top. So the Gemara ended the previous daf, is a discussion can a woman, or as a matter of fact, the way we got to our sugya is we're going to Shushvinim, which is the idea of, can you say, I'm ready to do my obligation. You want to come do it with me. Don't tell me that this obligation ended because the person died. By the woman, you're saying, today, tell me, give me my husband, and I'll be happy with it. I'll make a wedding with him. Says the Gemara, this count was saying, you want me to pay back for the kiddushin? I'm willing to get married. It's not for me. It's a machlokes tanoy. Tanya says in the Brisa, Maris is an issue. Besul, a person who gets engaged with the Torah, kiddushin. Besul goyim masay mamon money. So then the besul gets 200 for a ksuva and amon money. Malcolm, if in a case that we're talking about here, when they couldn't do the wedding, we'll see if she died or he died. So Malcolm shenach zu lachzir kiddushin machzir. So we saw it before. It's a machlokes minhagim. Do you give back the kiddushin if the marriage did not work out? The Rabbi Nossi says, the really said, Nathan's Nossi means this halacha was Sinai, or it's Behemis, the Chazal say it. Of course, it has to be exact same repetition of the sentence. If it's a meaning where you bring back the kiddushin, give it back. And if it's a place we don't bring the kiddushin, you don't bring it back. So the Gemara, Rabbi Nossi, and Tanakama, what's the Rabbi Nossi and Tanakama? They're both saying the exact same thing. Elalav. The difference is, let's say the husband died, and I tell the woman, you can't get married, so give back your kiddushin. She says, what do you want from me? Give me my husband, I'll be happy with him, I'll marry him. It's not because of me. Then you have to add the following words. A marriage is a issue, that's the general rule. That's only if he changes mind. So if she died, then he goes based on the meaning. Does she give back the Kesek Kedusha or not? If she died, then she doesn't have to give back the Kedusha. My time, you should say, give me my husband, I'll be happy with him. In other words, I'm ready to get married. Why should I give it back to him? Also, because Rabbi says, regardless who dies first, yeah, that will be the thing. Regardless, it doesn't matter if even if he died first, we say that he has to give back the kiddushin in these places of the minhagim. She can't say, I want my husband to marry him. It's not that kova is not for me. So that's the machlokes. It's like, everybody agrees if the husband's not here, she doesn't give back the kiddushin because she could say, let me marry him. It's not my fault. She doesn't return the kiddushin. She may say she died. Kiddushin tibuim, if you remember, Lam says kiddushin. Tibuim means Lashon drowning. It drowns. In other words, do you say that the kiddushin is gone? What does it mean? When you give the kiddushin did not work out, do you say that the kiddushin are going to be drowned and not come back? Right. So what does it mean? Says the Gemara, they don't get lost. Kiddushin get lost. So what do you mean? We just said it. It's a minute to give it back. Give it back. It's not lost. In other words, first time Dharma says you have to give back everything. Kiddushin as well. Second Dharma says Kiddushin don't give back. What you give back is savlanus. Savlanus is where the chasar gives gifts to the kala above. When she gets to get engaged, give her gifts. These gifts are not part of the kiddushin. That's something that really depends on the minhag. Okay, right? Right, the Rashbam says, Tachshitim is the jewelry, Sheshelech la Rusoso lachar shekicho. Of the Kiddushim, that's what the Machlek is. Second one, B'ani Tanei Kedon is Machlekes, we just saw is the following Machlekes. The Tanyo, Kicho, Bekikor. V'sulo goy v'masayim v'almone mone divrei mir. She was Mekadisher with a kikor, which means 25 money. The Rashbam says, 25 money. So he gives her a kikor, and she takes 200 and 100 niksul. Divrei mir. B'doy mir b'sulo goy v'masayim v'almone mone u'machzer zot hashar. She takes the ksuva, she gives it back the rest. So in a moment we'll see what does Rabbi Yossi mean. The Ma'askim, what's the case of the one? She dies, Mesa Ksuva. Ela Shemesu. Am I Machzero Shlosh Tashar? Why she gives back anything? Name Batnuli Baili Besach Mon, she say, give me my husband to down to them. Ela Beishes Yisrael, see, we just said it's no Machlekes. Everybody agrees. You could say, so why she was a back? Hello, we're not talking about that he died. He's not dead. He's not dead and she's not dead. So what's the case? She had his nose. She agreed to this. She's a saita. If it's hoiness, so if she was raped, she's allowed to stay with her husband. Hello, Beish's koyin shenenso. Talk about Beish's koyin that was raped. Uvi kiddushim letibuy nidnu kevlekes. What's the kevlekes? Oh, Beish's koyin, who was nenso, she cannot stay with her husband. She can't. But it's not her fault. She was forced. So now it's not her fault, so she doesn't lose her ksuba. It's not his fault because it's someone else caused it, but they can't be together. So now the shell is, what do you do with the Kiddushin? Kiddushin letibuyim nitnu gevlikas. The Kiddushin are lost or not. Remesova Kiddushin letibuyim nitnu. So that's why he gave her a huge amount for a Kiddushin, kikar. And now, not only this, she doesn't give it back, he still has to give her a ksuva. So she takes her ksuva, but she has to give back the Kiddushin. Whatever the Kiddushin is more. Here you see, he's not sure if Kiddushin and Tibuy nitnu or lo nitnu Kiddushin. I mean, do you let the Kiddushin get lost or not? Now here's how the Rashbam learns it. They're showing you how a little different sheets, but the Rashbam learns the following way. Kitcho be'esrim v'noisen lo shloishim chatzoy. Kitcho be'shloishim v'noisen esrim chatzoy. What does it mean? Kitcho be'esrim, talk about sloy. That's what Rashbam learns. Every selah is 4 zuz, 4 dinar. So if he was Mekadisher with 20 times 4 is what? 80. It means he gave a Kiddushin worth 80. Now, how much? Now, the ksuba that she's supposed to get, right? Now, she has to give back half. Why have to? Let's start with that. You give her half. Why have to give her half? Because it brings you suffix. Does she have to give back the entire Kiddushin? Or she doesn't have to give back the entire Kiddushin? So she got, in the Kiddushin, she got 80 in the first case. She has to give back her half. And she keeps half. So how much she has to give, she has left? 40. So what he has to give her above the 40 to get to her ksuva, talk about a almana who gets 100, is 60. What is 60? 60, that's the first case over here. Kitcho be'esrim, he was Mekadisher with 20, which is 80 dinar, 30 halves of a seller. 30 halves is what? Is 30 halves, which means it's every half is 2 dinar. 30 halves is 60. So he gave her 80, she has to give back 40, he owes her 60 to get to her ksuv of 100. Kitcha b'shloishim, she gave her kiddushim with 30 sloim, which is 120 dinar. So now she has to give back half, she gave back 60. How much he still owes her? 40. 40 is 20 halves of a seller. Okay? Zuz. I said dinar, I said zuz. Okay. So the Cheshbon basically holds that you give half back, half not. And this is what the Machlekes over here is kiddushim or being lost or not. That's our girsa. Every place, every place you'd give back your machzir. What is in every place? Every place means narado. So we have the girsa Bava, not Bava. Bava, Moko Shino Agul Hasim Masir, Tagum Narado. Shar Bava Maya by the rest of Bava. Rabbi Avisa Tavayu Mehare Hadri, Kiddushi Loy Hadri. You don't give back the Kiddushi, but you give back the Mo'ar, which is a Suvlanus, which is the gift that a Chassan gives to her, the Kalo, when she gets engaged. If you look at the bottom of the Rashbam, 4 lines on the bottom, the Rashbam says, V'nire Beinai, the Trey Gavni Ninu Mo'ar V'Suvlanus, 2 things, Mo'ari and Suvlanus. The Suvlanus, now you have to skill like one. You're going to see the Suvlanus. The Trey is in your line, I have to say it twice. שלום דמויה הוא מומנט שמקדים לו אתה בימי היוסי שכוסה בכסובוסו כשני סלוי לאחרים יקרי מויה. Savlanus is what a chassan gives the column right away when you get engaged. Moya is some preview to the wedding. It starts giving you things of the wedding. So ben shemei su ben shemei sehi v'odar behu. Doesn't matter if he dies or she dies or there was or change his mind. So, Mohari Hadri, Kiddush Hadri. Give back the Mohari, not the Kiddush. Hodju Bo'i, she changed her mind. Feel Kiddush, not Hadri. If she changed her mind, she give back the Kiddush. Maybe Omar Kiddush Hadri, you don't give back the Kiddush. Even though the Ikar didn't should give back Kiddush, you don't do it. Why? If you give back the Kiddush, they will think the Kiddush is never Chal. So if he's going to go and give Kiddush to the sister, they will think the Kiddush is Chal. And it's not, because the Kiddushin wants Kiddushin, she has to give back the money. Rav Ashi Omar, don't worry about that. Get the Mochiach Alei, you have to give her a get. So the get is the Mochiach that she is, that the Kiddushin did work. So Rav Ashi Bedusi, that's not something we can rely on. The Ikad Shalom Be'av, Shalom Be'o. Some people hear about the Kiddushin, but not about the Gerushin. So they will think that the Kiddushin is but, they hear about the fact that he gave back the Kiddushin, don't hear about the Gerushin, they will think the Kiddushin never happened, and they will say that if she was Miskadeshes with her sister, that if he was a Kaddish sister, the Kiddushin Uchal, which is not, even though her Kiddushin are void. Says the Gemara. Shashvin is Dingas Bebesim. Going back to Shashvin. What Shashvin is, as we mentioned in the Mishnah in yesterday's daf. Shashvin is some kind of a agreement he used to have those days, that when Reuven goes to the wedding of Shimon, he brings money to the wedding, a substantial amount seems to be, that will cover a big portion of the wedding. And then when Shimon goes to the wedding of Reuben, he does the same. It's called Shoshvinus. Shoshvinus is, I'm paying for you, you pay for me. So says the Gemara, Tonu Abba, Chamisha Devarim Ne'emru b'Shoshvinus. 5 things are mentioned as Shoshvinus. What is it? Nikbeis bebezdin. You can, as the Mishnah says, you can come and extract it, it's a real blow. V'chozeres be'oinoso. And it goes back in its time, which means when he has a wife, not before. Reuben gave to Shimon money. Reuben can't tell Shimon, I want it back, even though I didn't get married. There's no ribis over there, right? If he gave him more. Why? Because it's not considered to be a payment of the original loan. It has to do something with the simcha. Like, I owe you to take care of your wedding, but if I give you more, it's not considered to be that I gave you more for the loan. The Kuf man with base says the Gemara, Ve'in Shvis Meshematato. And Shvis is not Meshemeset. When it comes to Shvis, why not? So the Rashbam learns the reason now Meshemetes, the Rashbam, not so clear in the Rashbam, the Torah brings you 2 explanations, because we learned in Maseches Makis, when you have a loan of 10 years, right? When you have a loan of 10 years, actually the Rashbam does bring it just a little bit later, I apologize. When you have a loan of 10 years, does the Shvi Meshemetes or not? It's a Machlekes and Makis. So the Rashbam learns, it's considered to be that you give a loan for 10 years. Meaning Shemitah came in the middle. He got married year 3 of Shemitah. The next friend got married 10 years later. So the loan is not coming due until 10 years later. And therefore, because it goes only 10 years later, that's why it's not a problem of Mishemetes. And it's according to one man Dohamar in Maseches Makis. The Torah says, no, not because of that. The reason why it's not Mishemetes is because here it's not considered to be a real loan. The same, in other words, it's a loan, it's an obligation, but it's not a specific loan. It doesn't come until the wedding comes. It doesn't come. It's not a loan you can extract whatever you want, so that's why she's on Shemetes. If Kamina Kortes is even on Shemitah itself. In other words, if it comes due on Shemitah or right after Shemitah, let's say, if you hold So then, I mean, if it goes to a shmita, the shmita meshmeta is at the end or not, that'll be machlekes the Rashbam and Tosis. And Bukhara tell about Pishtayim Chodesh take double that we saw previous daf because it's considered to be roy. So when he gives the base of my time, Kimil v'damen, it's like a loan you can extract. He didn't give it to him with that idea that he'll give him more. It's not an exchange for the loan. It's not considered lo yigros according to Rashbam because Shvi didn't come yet, or because again the loan is not due. So the Gemara can close the Shvinis. You know what the rule of Shoshvinis is? Now, what Shoshvinis is similar to what we saw in the beginning of this daf. We mentioned is the idea that he has to come, he has to participate in the wedding. Right? Reuben gives to Shimon, Shimon has to come to give to Reuben. He goes and participates in his wedding, and then he pays him for the wedding. So if he was in the city, he can't give an excuse. Oh, I didn't come to the wedding, I'm not paying. Now, even if he's in a place, as the Bach adds over here, he's not mamish in the city. He's close by. The shama kol tavlo, they make like noise on like a drum beat to say that the wedding is coming. So he needs to come. Lo shama kol tavlo, lo dui. So then he needs to come and announce to him that he's doing a wedding. Lo yodui, says the Bach over here. Taroim is islay shulu mishal. If you didn't know that it still has to pay, you still have to pay for the wedding, even though he forgot to send him an invitation, he still has to pay for it. So says the Gemara, in other words, even if he pays for the wedding, he doesn't have to pay for his food. He didn't eat there. So says the Rashbam, how much you deduct from the payment? The people in the gardens, and zuzo, right? In other words, until that amount zuzo is how much usually is a person eats, and that's and the end of the lashon is aise bekapei achle bekarsei. He brings the money with his hand. He has food in his stomach. He doesn't bring money in his hand. There's no food in his stomach, so the food payment you don't have to pay. Adar bo mishalim palko, meaning if he needs to pay 4 zuzim, so then we say he's going to eat more. Usually the amount you eat is only 1 zuz. But if he's giving a very large gift, a 4 zuz gift, so then he's going to give him more food. So therefore, if he didn't come to the wedding, he deducts more, up to half. From here on, you go based on the chashivos. Chashivos of who? So here's a bit machlokes we're showing is the chashivos of the guest. Depends on how chashav he is, the more food he gets. Or it depends on the chashav of the host. The more bigger he is, the bigger wedding. So you deduct the amount of the food, depends on the case. Reuven came to Shimon's wedding, and Shimon's wedding was a huge wedding. Everybody was there. But when Reuven wants to get married, he says, I want to do a small wedding. The Rashbam says over here, there's maybe a sorry happening, it's COVID. Do a small wedding. He can say me. I'm not going to pay for this. I want to do a big wedding. I want to be in the big, and with a lot of people. So if you're doing a small wedding, I'll participate. Meaning, he got married, Shimon got married with a besula, and he's getting married with a widow. I'm not going to participate if you don't get married like me. Here the first we had different pshatim, but one way is he did with him in this second wedding, and he says, I want to do with you in the first wedding. I'm doing only the second one that you did with me. With one woman, one wife. Wants to do with 2. So here, someone shouldn't want to say he wants to split the money into 2 different weddings. In other words, the shoshvinim is a type of payment that I say you have to reciprocate. But you have to reciprocate the same way you did for me. Says now the Gemara, we mentioned something about Pumbi. Says the Gemara, we have a little bit of gat over here, which Beis Hashem will address more in the Shor Machshava. But the Gemara is giving us different lishonis of learning Torah. Torah Atir Nechosim, a rich person. Atir Pumbi, if he's in public, what is that? Zeu Baal HaGodos. Baal HaGodos is someone who can speak everywhere. He can speak in front of women, Amiharotzes. I got everybody can listen and learn. So that's called Pumbi. Pumbi means that he is a public speaker because everybody listens to him. Atir Sloim, Atir Tekoya. In other words, what is Atir Sloim? That means he's rich in a way that he is a banker. He's always a shulchani, he's like a money exchanger. Or Atir Tekoya, Rashbam brings to either pshat is that he is a landlord and he has houses to rent. Or we're talking about oil. He has an idea of oil that he sells a lot. What does that mean? Zeu Baal Pupil. So Baal Pupil is somebody that, when exchange, he's not always around, but when you need to exchange money, you go to the exchanger. So the pupil is the one that you come and you're able to, you come to whenever you need something, you come, you have to understand something you're learning, you go to the person who's Baal Pupil. Atir Moshach, Atir Koma. So Atir Moshach over here will be oil. The Rashbam says your Moshach is Loshen Mashiach, big people. In other words, you're going based on measurements. And that's what Komas also means. So, and the Rashbam explains the Komas is that he stores his product, and when you need it, you come and gives it to you. Zeu Baal Shmuas. What's a Baal Shmuas? Baal Shmuas means someone that knows how the halachas. When you need a halacha, you go to him. You need a shmur, you need a brayz, you need a mishnah. Hakol tzrichin l'mor yichityo gemara. Different ways out the first one said, but one simple shot is part of the list. Everybody needs the owner of the wheat. Who are we referring to? Gemara, that knows the sugyas and he knows how to learn and he's able to figure out the learning based on it. So different levels of limud. So we talk about balagodas, then you have pilpul, which is like called more like a lomdis. Then you have the Baal Shmuas, and then you have Gemara. Always his life is very, a poor man's life is always bad. Who are we talking about? Zebal Talmud. Why Baal Talmud? So the way the Rashbam explains, he is mainly Satzmoy al Torah. It's always, hovering on the Torah. The Torah Mishnah Talmud is Baal Mishnah. Baal Mishnah has an easy life. It's not hard to learn so much. It's easy for him to learn. The opposite. Yes, the toiling is more in Gemara than Mishnah. But Baal Gemara is able to come to maskanas, to understand things, has clarity. Baal Mishnah is everything is confusing. So for him, it's the exact opposite. So someone who's carrying stones, it's going to make him sad. Someone who's cutting wood, he will be able to heat himself with it. That he's carrying stones, he doesn't understand. He cuts the wood and burns it and has the fuel, he'll about Talmud. So he's able to figure out what's going on based on his learning. Someone who has a consistent bad life, someone who has a bad wife. Good wife, good life. Right? So this. The Rashbam explains because when Gemara's bothered, what is koil? A poor man has a bad life consistently every single day. So he has a bad wife, so yes. Someone who is, istinis, everything bothers him. So he's always suffering. He has a good, his mind, he's someone who doesn't care so much, and things don't bother him so much. Someone who's suffering is someone he has a lot of mercy. Everything bothers him. He sees someone suffering, he cries, it bothers him. He's always going to be in tzaras. Someone's cruel and things don't bother him. So he's a good life. Another drasha is the Shadai to Ketzoa. The Ketzoa refers to somebody who is stingy. He keeps his thing, doesn't spend it. So he's always, everything bothers him, doesn't want to spend anything. He's generous, he has a good life. Similar to the question, what do you mean? Honey is suffering the whole time, and Shabbos is Yantiv. They have a nice meal, they give it tzedakah, and he's eating well. So the Gemara sometimes it's worse. Because when a person has bad meals the whole week, and suddenly a child has a big meal, that causes him to be sick. So even the good meal causes him to suffer. So the Gemara, the way we first pointed out, Shloim HaMelech said that the days of honey is bad, but when he sleeps, he's good. Comes Ben Sira and says, even in the night, his roof is the lowest roof in the city. The rain goes to the top roofs, to the bottom roofs, and causes him to have leaks, and he can't sleep. His vineyard is in that top of the mountain. So all the dust and all the sand, all the earth from his vineyard goes down to the bottom. In other words, he doesn't have a good life, not when he's sleeping, not when he's awake, and only is suffering. Very good.